The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 15th day of November, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, how was your weekend?
It was great. It was great. It was great. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was great.
I'm taking offense to this. I'm taking offense as if it was great because
Why?
you get to see me and the audience, and like it's just the happiness is on the next level. Like you like.
Yeah, and that's okay. Sometimes you need a break. And then when you come back, you're like, Jamal, and all excited but it's not like I didn't talk to you every day, Jamal. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. No, honestly, a
But
break is needed, right? It literally
y-
is. It felt good not waking up. 5 a.m. 6:37 was a bit better. Right.
yes, yes. And it looks like, what's going on? Like, you got a hill, like your face looks brighter. What's happening?
Oh, so I told you I was gonna take it up. This is the first time y'all seen my face in about 5, 10, 16 years. Yeah. So
Like
yeah, I'm gonna.
shocking.
Yeah. You know, I still couldn't figure it out, so I got to hit up Miss Tittenman Narrowway to see how you all can support the cause. The cancer cause, and help men's health. So, folks, yes, I did shave it off. I know. I was like, oh man, November's almost over. I'm got to get it done. Got to
Yes.
be a man of my word. Got to be a man of my word. But my weekend was okay. Yeah, it was stress free. It was stress free. Manchester United didn't play, so I had nothing to worry about, nothing to stress me out. It was great. It was great. So
Both of my teams played, and yeah, but Dallas won 43
I keep
to
forgetting you're one of those
3.
people. You're one of those people.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Well, folks, a lot of tragic stuff has happened since we last spoke with you, and Liana will bring you a lot more of that in her news break. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one to begin the week as Colina Outerbridge of the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation stops by Women's Entrepreneurship Day conference. She'll be discussing that. The daily play is a Who Said It. So
Right.
yeah,
Forgot
it's a
about
good one
that.
today. It's a good one. We're going to give some nice hints. But before we begin, on behalf of everyone at Bermuda Communications Group, we just want to take the time to thank Michaela for her contribution to this show over the last 4 months, and we wish her well and all the best going forward now that she's moved on. But today, we have to touch on a subject, and we did switch topics right before the show, folks. We did switch topics because we missed a few days. But there's something going on in Bermuda. There's something going on in Bermuda, and it's not necessarily there's a lot going on in Bermuda, I should say, right, Sherry? A lot.
Yes, a lot.
But as far as economic, we have to discuss the state of tourism.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we will be having Mr. Leslie Grant from Focus. So we'll be saving today's discussion, which was alcoholism and the culture of drinking in Bermuda, to tomorrow. But what we're going to discuss today is the state of tourism. And if you haven't if you're not aware, the Bermuda Tourism Authority released grim third quarter tourism figures revealed by the Bermuda Tourism Authority.
Hmm.
And I'm not interested in getting into the actual details. The reason why is because what really bothered me about the Bermuda Tourism Authority from its inception was their mandate was to get heads in beds. And when you look at the leisure numbers that are shared, pretty much 80% of them are cruise passengers, right? If you look at that story and look at what the
Yeah.
BTA did when they told you they had record numbers. Well, if I've said on this show before, and I'll say it again, you know me, and I have my issues with Dr. the Honorable Ewart Brown. But if we give anyone credit for tourism in terms of cruises, it should not be the Bermuda Tourism Authority, because that's not their mandate. That's not their mandate. So
Okay.
first, if we're going to be honest, we need to remove that from any figures. The second issue that we need to touch on, folks, as far as tourism numbers to Bermuda, is I think it's time, and we've spoken about it on the show, that Bermudians as a whole get a grip as to what tourism is and what drives tourism. A nice picture, a celebrity influencer, a fish sandwich, what you enjoy doing in Bermuda, that's not going to do it.
Why is that? Why is that?
Group business drives tourism. Group business drives tourism. William Griffith, Billy Griffith, the former CEO of Barbados Tourism Marketing Organization and former director of tourism in Bermuda. He was one of the first guests on this show, I believe the second week when we started.
Mhm.
And he said it then, and it stands now. Relationships drive tourism. Bermuda Tourism Authority does not have enough people with relationships in the organization to drive tourism. We haven't even
And what
gotten
is
we haven't even gotten to the fact that the rules probably deter people from wanting to travel to Bermuda. COVID,
Mhm.
that's another story. But
Right.
relationships matter. I'm going to use a point in Bermuda. You can have the best product or service, but unless you have the relationship, selling yourself is going to be pretty difficult. I'm going to go in detail because I know Shara's got questions. I see her face, right? So I'm going to try to
Well,
answer.
I just want people to like understand what you're talking about. Group tourism. What
I
does that
am.
mean?
I'm going to go
Okay.
in depth right now. Last week, the Mecca of all Meccas in the tourism industry took place. It's a conference in Las Vegas held every year between October, usually in October, but October, November. And it's called IMAX. IMAX is what opened my eyes that Bermuda's not another world. Bermuda's literally a spot on a dot, a dot on a map, a spot on a map,
Mhm.
right? When you go to something like IMAX, you understand what Bermuda is up against as far as being a tourism destination. We're not talking about Turks and Caicos or Barbados or the Caribbean. We're talking about some small town in Wyoming that you're competing against. We're talking about some small town in the Netherlands. We're talking about some small town in Argentina, places you would never hear about.
Mhm.
That's what Bermuda's competing against. And so, what you have that drives group business and how that works is in tourism driving group business is hotel prices are determined by occupancy. So the
Okay.
idea was always to drive big groups into the larger hotels so that leisure tourists can get favorable prices, right? In the smaller ones. I think I explained that correctly. But anyway,
Mhm.
the point
Mhm.
is, when you drive group business, it's a lot of things that come from that. One, these people are likely to come back.
With
Two,
their families.
with their families. Two, you're actually, instead of selling to two people or a few people on social media through an influencer, you're selling to hundreds of people. Now, what is group business? Group business, folks, is basically what every tourism organization focuses on. That's what drives tourism. Group business could mean family reunions, Smurf, social, right? Educational groups, religious groups,
Mhm.
fraternities and sororities,
Sororities. Yeah.
right? It could mean business incentives. The top salespeople for Bank of America coming to Bermuda. as an incentive. You saw the lady, what she the spandex, is it spandex? What is it?
Spanx.
Spanx, yes, yes, Spanx. You know what I meant.
Hmm.
Spanx.
Yeah, you're right, right.
That's considered incentive if they were all just buying her whole company a trip to Bermuda. That's incentive. That's what drives tourism. If they hold their annual conference. Now, some companies may hold their annual conference in Chicago. The selling point for Bermuda. Well, you don't want to go to Chicago where it may snow. You want to come to Bermuda where it's warm and it's better weather.
Is this the same difference in the reference to the Hill Shaggy thing? Is that a good example
No,
that people
that's
are
not group
upset
tourism.
about? Okay,
That's influencer. That's influencer.
okay.
They're using a celebrity or influencer to try to drive tourists to Bermuda.
But it was a swimsuit Hill situation. Is still under influence?
No, that is done by the BTA. That was not that. That's kind of a marketing stunt kind of thing.
Okay.
Group travel would literally be any group, like it could be a family reunion, it can be the association of hairstylists. That's group travel. That's what drives tourism. So the question of the morning, I don't want to keep going, is how can we help now that I've given you that information? How can we help get tourism back on track? How can we help
So
get tourism back on track?
so immediately for me, I go to doing like honing in on different conferences. Is that
Mhm. Oh,
a way? So tapping into what conferences would then bring, you know, people to Bermuda. So when you talk about hairstylists and you talk about even things that are more relatable, no, we need to go bigger.
conferences are perfect.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
That's
All
exactly
right,
it.
check me. It's got to go towards my wordplay thing.
Nachika.
It's not
You
just
can talk to that.
relationships.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's not just relationships, but also the overall price of the vacation. Look at the amount of taxes we pay for
That's
airline
that,
tickets
that
and now the
this is
TA. Mhm.
exactly what I'm trying to change the mindset with. Get
Okay.
vacation out of your head. That doesn't drive tourism. Vacations don't drive tourism. They're a part of tourism. Vacations do not matter to most tourism organizations. Groups
Mm.
drive tourism. Honestly, I'm trying to change the mindset here. I'm trying to change the mindset here. Groups drive tourism. The two biggest in the United States, two biggest destinations are Las Vegas and Orlando. Many of you would think, oh well, Disney World and gambling. No, conferences, conferences, conferences.
Mm. And
Charles,
what kind of
uh,
conferences do they have?
all types, and I'll just touch on that. Shaggy was not
Okay.
done by the BTA. He was brought to Bermuda by the group that was here to do a photo shoot. Thank you for the clarification. But that is not a group in terms of what we're discussing. It's not
Mhm.
a group. It's again, Nachika. Vacations are 2 cents to the to. You know how they? Honestly, we have to change our mindset on it. It's not. It's not. It's not. I'm going to use myself. My $1,000 I spend doesn't make a difference in most of these economies. Group tourism drives tourism, folks. This is what I'm trying to help with this morning. I'm not speaking
Mm.
like just hypotheticals, and that's why I appreciate Charles throwing that in. Group tourism drives tourism. If nothing else, I'm going to keep saying that till we get it through our heads. Group tourism drives tourism. Our question today, how can we as Bermudians get groups? Because I'm waiting on someone to say it, but I'm going to say it. Well, someone said it. Someone brought it up. South P used to host the Bridge Club, American Express, and groups like that back in the early 80s. All I wanted someone to do is what he just said. You cannot compare apples to apples. If your biggest conference hotel
Mm.
is closed, that's where I was hoping we would go with this. Thank you, Nachika. That's where I'm going with this. So I'm not here to defend the BTA or Mr. Jaffers or his team. I'm here to have honest conversations that I feel are not being had. We cannot, group tourism drives tourism. Group business drives tourism. If you take out the only real big conference hotel, which is the Fairmont Southampton, as Nachika asks, we do not even have the space for conferences. So then what? So
Yeah.
we've got to, be realistic about this. We can't compare apples to apples in this situation. So now that we don't have this big conference space, we need to be realistic and figure out what we can do. What can we do to get tourism back on track with what we have?
And if that's the question, then Jamal, and the space is Southampton Princess, and so where do we move that space to? And is that your question, or you're waiting for someone to try to answer
Well,
that?
I can answer it, and maybe somebody in the audience can answer it better than me. But there's always a way. Bermuda has the opportunity to go after small incentive groups. So not every group's going to be hundreds of people conference. Some
Mm-hmm.
companies might be small and say, hey, you know what? We have a 20-person sales team, 15 of them exceeded the goals. We're going to do an incentive trip and we want to come to Bermuda. Where does the relationship come in? There are people that will choose a destination simply because of the relationship they have with the person in that destination. No. Let me take that back.
True.
There are people that do choose a destination over and over and over simply because of the relationship that they have with the person. Now, I want to go to sporting events. Bingo. This is where Hazel Clark and her team come in handy. Sporting events are huge. They're
Mm-hmm.
huge for Bermuda. And I think, they're doing a great job of trying to do things. Before the pandemic, to their credit, they were doing some fantastic things. It can be, but again, we have to be realistic about the sporting events and the venues that Bermuda has, right?
Right.
Talent Clark, TJ Clark for you, Sherry.
Taxes has nothing to do with it. Conferences and company travel incentives pay for the experiences, no matter what the fees/taxes involved.
And I think
Very
that's
true.
to Nachika. And Nachika, what I think talent means by that is when you're booking group business, there are things that get waived so that like there's incentive funds and so on. And that's why I'm literally just trying to share information so that we can change our mindset to discuss the solutions that are there. I'm happy that Charles is listening. I'm hopeful that we can have some solutions here that Charles can say, you know what, that was a great idea on the daily hour this morning. Let's consider this or that.
Yeah.
Bermuda, what we have to understand, what we honestly have to understand is that tourism is bigger than what we think it is. There are a lot of destinations within destinations within destinations. And then there's
And I see, and I think I'm probably amongst the not the normal, but you understand what I'm saying in regards to thinking tourism.
uh-oh. I think Sherry's frozen. But while she's frozen, let's go to some comments. So Bobby Singh says, exactly. Having the ideal venue is currently our biggest challenge for group tourism. Thank you, Bobby. But Bobby, in fairness, you understand the industry as well. Talent TJ Clark says there's a big conference at St. Regis soon. So it's still continuing, but other options have to be given. Michelle White says, in the absence of South P, we can market the smaller hotels or create package hotel deals for events. This could engage taxis to transport from hotel to hotel. No, this is true. We can find smaller groups, Michelle. The challenge with that is that, again, there's no conference hotel. Hamilton Princess opportunities, but it still doesn't have the amount of space. So Fairmont Southampton was so large that you can literally have 7 or 8 different companies there having conferences at one time. That's how large it was. And I think people underestimate that. James Burt says incentive groups too big for the individual hotels could be managed with a hybrid of packaging the rooms across hotels. It would take more management and buy-in, but possible. This is something I always loved, James, and that is great. But here's the thing: it is a hard sell. In some destinations, they have hotel chains, right? They have different hotel chain. Well, one hotel chain that may have various hotels in one city, and it was more doable. But great idea. CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, Charles H. Jefferson II, says Group business is the foundation for any destination. According to industry research, it won't be back. What's that word? I don't know that word, Charles. For lunch. I'm just going to repeat what I see. What's that word, Sherry?
For launch.
Okay, yeah, I got it. I don't know what it means, but thanks, Charles. Tamara Richardson says, so this begs the question, can we afford to continue spreading our tourism dollars all over the world? Seems like we need to refocus on this one avatar, whoever is booking / selling these group experiences, and of course, having an appropriate venue to host. This is valid, and this is extremely valid, Tamara. This is why, again, I said to my wife last week, and I said, I took her. One year I went to IMAX, and she saw it, and she understood. And I said, I wish Bermudians had the opportunity to come to IMAX just so that they can have a better understanding of how tourism works, because that was the one that really opened my eyes as to what we're up against. That's the show that opened my eyes to help me understand how difficult this job really is. And until we understand that, like, again, I'm not trying to disrespect, but a picture of a fish sandwich on a beach and your sunset and drinking in a boat or doing this and yet what you love to do in Bermuda, it
Ain't cutting it.
That's not what works. I mean, people do 10 times that and more in other places. We have to shift our mindset to what drives tourism. And until we understand what drives tourism, these are the challenges that we're going to be up against. Let's go through a few more comments. Carla J for you, Sherry.
Okay. One of the issues with group tourism is that it has to be inclusive and safe, or there has to be a separation between locals and tourists. Example, all-inclusive resorts.
Again, Vegas and Orlando don't have all-inclusive resorts. They are the top 2 destinations in these United States because of conferences and group business. Again, this is the mindset that I will use the information to try to inspire you to think differently as much as possible. And for all things, just to be clear, yes, I spent time at the Bermuda Tourism Authority. I am now working with Palm Beach Tourism. So I am not just speaking based on my opinion, but based on information and industry research. Bobby Singh says, reach out to our radio stations in gateway countries. There's a radio station in Toronto that has a contest for listeners called Breakfast in Barbados. It's been ongoing for years. They take about 100 plus listeners for all-inclusive week-long vacation and go live to air at the resort for morning show. In my opinion, Breakfast in Bermuda sounds so much better. No bias there. No bias there. Charles said back until 2024, we need to start preparing for the return to date. Yes, Larry, as someone mentioned earlier, sporting events, it is a way back. Emma Richardson says, all the trade shows I attend work with a network of hotels in the area, but transportation and managing to connect the properties is key. This is key. Sean Smith says, Elbow Beach is no longer in the conference business. I remember when they are doing it in the early 2000s when I worked there. Well, Sean Smith, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the news the other day. Elbow Beach is currently closed. I know we mentioned Fairmont Southampton, but again, we can't do much with it if it's not open, right? Carla J, Vegas and Orlando are within the USA, therefore they are already seen as inclusive. All-inclusives are not the battle. I use those examples because they're easy. Keep in mind what I said earlier. When we're talking about group business, think of the smallest town in Argentina you never heard of. Germany, Switzerland. Folks, trust me. Group business. Let's wrap it up. Leanna's waiting to come here and she's probably yelling at me. Renee Sherlington says we need to have a convention center. All of the main islands in the Caribbean have a convention center for performing arts, political conventions, sporting events, and business conferences. Bermuda will continue to get left behind, competing with the islands to the south. I said this during my time in tourism that we needed a convention center. I know no better than anyone else, but I am grateful for Renee Sherilyn Simmons for that comment. I will leave it at that. I will leave it at that. Sam Cat Place. No, you can't get a Bermuda fish sandwich anywhere else. Yeah, you can get one from Barbados. You can get one from Jamaica. You can get one from Naples. You could get one from Miami. Everyone's taste buds are different. Our taste buds for a Bermuda fish sandwich aren't going to be the same as someone else's. Again,
You're gonna
we
start a
can't.
war, Jamal.
I'm just saying, we can't rely on that. Look, I'm gonna say something, and if it offends people, so be it. But the truth's the truth. I remember being at things for Bermuda tourism and getting people to try a dark and stormy, and them spitting it out, saying it was nasty. I'm like,
Mhm.
it hurt my feelings. It got me angry. But at the same time, that's their taste buds. We can't expect other people to enjoy what we enjoy just because we enjoy it, or because we want
Right.
to make ourselves believe that it's better than what it is. Let's wrap it up with Carla J. She says, not all inclusive. We are using the terms differently. Okay, got you, Carla, Carla. I think yes, I've got you. And in fairness, one of Bermuda's biggest challenges when it comes to the USA, at least, you can't just drive to the destination. Let's bring Lee in because I ain't getting in trouble. Hey, Lee, you see Sherry keeping us going all morning?
Oh my dear, was that Sherry?
Not me.
I could have
Not
sworn
indeed.
all I've heard was a male's voice, but I could be mistaken.
Please just sit right here.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Lee.
morning.
Lee, you're in the tourism space. And you've dealt
And
with
this is a very interesting conversation because now having also worked, so I worked at Fremont, Southampton for a good period during my schooling years, and I got a chance to see big conferences there. So I remember when State Farm brought hundreds and hundreds of people, and they did a regional incentive, and they had people come down week after week. I'm not sure if James was there, but it was amazing to see all these different people down on the island. And now having worked on, with Goslings and that nasty dark and stormy you be talking about over there.
not me. I'm talking about those people.
I know, I'm just kidding. But also seeing how that's affected us, because when they had the conferences there, we would come and we would put on a good, spiel for them, showing them our products and everything like that. So that has trickled down into the smaller businesses now. And we do feel that effect of not having those conferences here on the island due to the closure of one of our biggest hotels. So, yeah.
Indeed. And Leanna said something. I was wondering if someone would in the audience would, and I didn't know that, but she knew this. But I was going to use State Farm as the example, but I thought someone in the audience would bring. That's the perfect example right there, folks, of a big company that used to bring their conference. Let's wrap it up with these. Larry Marshall Jr. did say outdoor events. Outdoor events are pretty hard as well because we don't necessarily have the outdoor space. The National Sports Center, most destinations are not using their national places. And Tamara Richardson, Lee.
Bermuda needs to humble itself. We really do have to understand how much the entire rest of the world has to offer.
Yeah, and Sean Smith mentions the space up there where we have the America's Cup. I think that's a great space, but we have to consider what else is around there for people to do. Is Dockyard open? Lee, you've got a lot to talk about. You've got a lot. Let's get over to you, and then we'll be back. We have Colina Outerbridge backstage. Do not go anywhere, folks.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and happy Monday to everyone that's tuned in with us this morning. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. The island marks its 16th road fatality last evening when a male motorcyclist sadly passed away following a collision in Southampton. Now, according to police, the incident happened just before 6 p.m. when emergency services attended what they described as a single vehicle collision at the junction of Middle Road and Lighthouse Road in Southampton. The rider was apparently heading west when he collided with the wall, was thrown from the bike, and landed in the waters at Jews Bay, adjacent to the Waterlot Inn. Now, the victim was reportedly pulled from the water by members of the public who began CPR until the arrival of EMTs, who continued performing CPR. He was then transported via ambulance to hospital, where he was subsequently succumbed to his injuries. Now, anyone with any information on the incident is asked to contact police. We here at the Daily Hour extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of the loved one. Meanwhile, police have named the victim in last week's stabbing incident as 28-year-old Marissa Moniz. Ms. Moniz's lifeless body was found at a Smiths Parish residence in the early hours last Thursday morning. Police responded to a report of a domestic incident and she was later pronounced dead at the scene by an on-call physician. Now, a 37-year-old male suspect was arrested in connection with her death, and the investigation continues into this matter, and anyone with information is asked to contact Acting Detective Inspector Jason Smith. And we here extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Ms. Moniz. We are not out the woods yet, as MPs have confirmed that the island will undergo an additional 60-day extension of public health regulations. Now, the decision was passed in the House last Friday. Minister of Labor Jason Hayward read the extension order in the absence of Health Minister Kim Wilson and said that the chief medical officer still agrees that the variants of the coronavirus remain a public concern. And while these past 2 years has shown how hard our frontline workers have cared for those most vulnerable, one has to wonder who is caring for the caregivers. Now, in an effort to educate the public, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated has teamed up with the Employee Assistance Program to host a virtual lunch and learn workshop on how to do just that, care for the caregiver. The free event is taking place today and will feature speaker Dr. Aria Bean as the main presenter. Now, we spoke to Takia Saunders, Sigma Xi Omega Chapter, aka sorority president, on why she believes this event is important and what can attendees expect to take away from it.
Self-care allows caregivers to support the people you love. Caregivers who pay attention to their own physical and emotional health are better able to handle the challenges of supporting someone who requires additional care. Participants will receive self-care tips that can assist in managing through the tough times, especially on the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic. The community is encouraged to come out during this lunchtime event and learn more about how we can care for our caregivers. Zoom details can be located on Sigma Xi Mega Chapter's Instagram and Facebook pages at Bermuda_AKAs for Instagram and Sigma Xi Mega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated on Facebook.
And Bermuda completed their ICC T20 World Cup America's qualifier campaign with a 3-wicket victory over Argentina yesterday. Now, despite just missing out on their chances to qualify after the United States and Canada claimed the top 2 spots, Bermuda still soared through a 3rd-place finish, winning yesterday's match with a score of 131 for 7. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 78 and a low near 68 degrees. It will be a cloudy start to the day with a few showers and a chance of thunder developing, moderate to strong winds, and the potential for wet weather through or from midday into tonight. Now, skies will clear tomorrow under building high pressure, though notably cooler weather with variable cloud cover follows for Wednesday. That's all for our Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. Keep a close watch on People's social media pages at People's BDA for weekly promotions for the remainder of the month. Now, this week, shop and enjoy discounts in our health and beauty sections. Of course, our pharmacists are always available to help you at the best discount, and their advice is free. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Lee. And before you go, just want to let people know as we continue to grow, our focus remains our audience, our partners, and quality conversations. We intend to do this in a respectful yet challenging manner always. The conversations on this show are expected to challenge the norm and discuss solutions to some of the problems that we face daily. Through disagreement, it is not our job to belittle anyone, but to try and understand other perspectives. We will continue to highlight the best of Bermuda and Bermudians and look forward to happier and healthier, engaging conversations with all of you. We are because of you, and we can't thank you enough for your continuous support of the Daily Hour. Lee, thanks so much for the news break today, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, God willing.
All righty. Leanna
Bye.
Lambert, folks. Cherry, let's take a break and come back with Colina Outerbridge from the BEDC. Oh no, Sherry don't want to talk to us, folks.
Sounds wonderful.
Oh, she said it sounds wonderful. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
This month, we're bringing back an old favorite distributed by John Barrett & Son Limited, a thirst-quenching European treat, Orangina, made from orange, lemon, mandarin, and grapefruit juices. Orangina brings us the flavor of the Mediterranean in a distinctive pear-shaped bottle. Orangina originated in France in the early 1930s and is now one of the world's favorites, a natural thirst quencher containing real fruit pulp. In fact, the makers of Orangina recommend we gently shake the pulp to enjoy the full fruity flavor. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty. Welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends at People's Pharmacy. It's BEDC Monday. Let's bring in our guest for the day, Colina Outerbridge. She's probably tired. They've been working this weekend, folks. They've been working. Good morning, Colina. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. I'm good. How are you?
Hi, Colina.
Oh,
Hi, Sherry.
So talk to us about what BEDC's been up to this weekend. You guys had a lot going on.
Yes, we did. We've had our Global Entrepreneurship Week. We had last week our rocket pitch competition, which was an amazing event held at Bacardi. We also had our Small Business Awards, or BEDC Business Awards, which was Saturday night, and that was amazing. That's always highlighting all our entrepreneurs in Bermuda, whether it be family businesses, whether it be new entrepreneurs, businesses, things like that. And then we also had our, and also during that event, we also highlight our students that have taken our 8-week courses. So that's the Entrepreneurship 101, as well as the financial statement using QuickBooks and our Think Like an Entrepreneur. And then we had yesterday our Women's Entrepreneurship Day conference pre-brunch.
I think there's a lot of people in the audience. They love this on the brunch. But real quickly, I'm not sure if you can share, Sherry, before you jump in, I just want to know, who won some of these awards, because I didn't hear Sherry's name called.
Listen.
I'm not sure of all the winners. That's actually Andrea Rochester, her event, but she will have something posted up of all the winners. Just verily, I remember 1616. They are a new company that distributes some kind of different, like a swizzle drinks, some bottled drinks. I know they're doing very well. I know Jazzy Treats. They won an award. They do like the snow cones and things like that. Fresh Dental, a dental place, they won an award. So there were a lot of winners, and we're very proud of our BEDC members, our BEDC businesses, and we're always here to help whenever we can.
All righty.
1616, that's some good stuff. When you talk about women and the entrepreneurship, you have the conference coming up. What is the theme this year, and what is the conference all about?
So our theme this year is perseverance. And the point of it is we know that during these times, women wear a lot of hats, and we have to persevere through a lot of things going on, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working for someone else, whether you're a mom, we wear a lot of different hats. So we figure, during these times with COVID and everything going on, women still have to persevere in their businesses. And we usually talk about finances, we talk about health, we talk about tech, and we also talk about branding.
Awesome.
I'm not a woman, so I guess it's not for me. But
you may know a woman. Obviously, know somebody in business that can relate.
Yes, you do. A very close person.
I'm not sure my wife can make it. But why is it so important to recognize women entrepreneurs?
Well, Women Entrepreneurship Day is celebrated in 160 countries around the world. It was developed by Wendy Diamond. She made the day, Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and so we have piloted from off of her event. And I think it's very important to be able to recognize the women, especially in Bermuda. We have a lot of powerful women in these high positions that's just doing the thing, and we're just like, we need to celebrate them. But men always get the recognition. Men are always known to be in these high positions, and we women, we're coming for you. And so we want to be able to highlight what the women are doing, in Bermuda and around the world.
Man, they coming, folks.
We're coming for you.
I love it. Come through, Colina. Who are the keynote speakers this year, and what can we expect from them?
So the day is going to be an amazing day. It's a full-day conference. We're asking people to be able to log in before 9 o'clock just to make sure you have access to the event. We usually have at least 1 or 2 keynote speakers when we're in person, but because it's virtual, one of the good things about COVID and having to do a virtual event is that you have the ability to invite people from around the world. And so we have a keynote speaker, Nancy Whatmore, and she's going to be talking about confidence and taking the deep dive. And then we also have Donna DuPont, and she's going to be talking about, she owns Participatory Futures, Great Swim, and I think she's actually they're doing that working from Bermuda. She's one of the persons that were participating in that. And then we also have Aisha Bowe, and she is the founder and CEO of Stemboard. And so I'm looking forward to hearing these amazing women speak. Those are going to be 3 keynotes. But then on top of the keynotes, we also have some panel discussions. So there's going to be 4 panel discussions, and that's the topics that I was talking about earlier. We're going to be talking about health, mental health. How do you navigate in your business, during these times and still be able to thrive? We're also going to be talking about finances, because we know that, people are not able to go into shops and purchase like how they used to. So how are you going to be able to persevere and still make those finances that you need to keep your business going? We're also going to be talking about tech, and, tech is always an important thing, because you may not be able to have a physical store, but you may have to be online. So how do you take your business, transform it from a physical location to online sales? And then we also talk about branding, and we know that branding is very important. Sometimes you have to pivot, sometimes you have to shift. And how do you do that? How do you still, put your best foot forward and get your brand out there? And so with those panel discussions, we have some Bermudian speakers that are going to be, talking about those things. Women that's either, like I said, in the corporate world, as well as people that own their own business. And they're going to be able to talk to people that are thinking, I know her, I've seen her before, I look like her, I can do this as well. Those people that are on the fence, should I start a business, or, how can I take this information and apply it in my day-to-day job, or, and starting a business. So we're just hoping that there's going to be something for everyone, and we're just, looking forward to this upcoming event.
Wow, definitely sounds like something I should be signing up for, because I need this. So for people like myself who definitely need it, where can we find more information and the tickets?
Okay, so we have our website, www.gew.bm, as well as www.bedc.bm. You can go on there. You will see the event for the conference. The ticket is $70, and that's going to include all your keynote speakers for that day. We are going to have some social media posts throughout the day where you can network with people. You can visit different booths. You will get points for those booths, and then you will win prizes. So at the end of the day, there are some amazing prizes that we have received from our sponsors. We also will be having a Female Entrepreneurship Award. So we are partnering with Stephanie of Socially, and she also has the room. And she has put out a poll where people can vote who is your female entrepreneur of the year. And then they would have nominated somebody, and then there will be voting. And so during the event, the person that has the most votes will win an award during the event. Also, during our rocket pitch, the women of the rocket pitch get to pitch their ideas during the event. So they wouldn't pitch live, which we did last year. We will play the video, and the audience get to vote on who is going to win the pitch of the year. And so they will get prizes to help them, whether it be legal help, accounting help, marketing help, funds to help start their business. All of that is going to be going on through the day. And then we also have, as always, a networking vendor portion at the end. So from 5 to 6, we're going to open it up. We're going to do some kind of like speed dating where people get to meet other women, because it's amazing how many businesses are started and opened in Bermuda by women, and you don't even know what businesses they own or that they own a business. And so this is going to be a way for women to network, let people know what they're doing so that people can start buying their products. And so we're just looking forward to that full day. And then on top of that, everyone that signs up will get a voucher for from Sargasso. And so we're asking everyone to create a Sargasso account. Funds will get put into their account. And then during the day, during the conference, you're not going to have to worry about hopefully breakfast, lunch, or snacks, because you can order your food through Sargasso for the time that you need. And then we have our lunch break. Hopefully you will have your food delivered right to you.
I am who I am, so I'm going to ask this. Why Sargasso and not Hook?
We have engaged, we actually did engage, last year we did engage Hook, we engaged Sargasso, and we engaged 5-Star Delivery. We just felt that Sargasso has a broad range of around the island versus, I want to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Hook is only in St. George's or in the eastern areas, whereas Sargasso is more all around Bermuda.
You could be correct. And this is not on you, but I guess where I'm challenging is, maybe Sargasso is in that position, and maybe it could, and we were talking about tourism earlier, but if they're focused on the East Hook, then probably the East probably needs more love than probably Sargasso. So that's why I asked, because I'm like, well, Hook's a smaller company, they're focused on the East, and if you read some of these tourism reports, the East needs love, folks. So
yes,
you can call it hating, but I'm showing love. Go support Hook. Get some people down to the East. They need your love, folks. They need your love. But no, Colina, it's been great. If you have any questions, and I knew people were going to ask, and that's why I'm asking. You did have a comment asking about what about 5-Star, which you just explained. They had engaged with them last year. How does the BDC go about keeping people involved year round? Because I love what you're doing as far as this week and the conference and Global Entrepreneurship Week. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. But I think the hard thing from an entrepreneur perspective is when something starts, everyone seems like they're a fan and they're supportive, and then people seem to fall off. How can we get people to stay involved in stuff?
Well, I would say with BDC, we're doing stuff all year round. Unfortunately, the Global Entrepreneurship Week happens during that week. So that is the month of November, the week of November, we're doing stuff specific to that event. But with BDC, we're doing stuff all year round. And especially with COVID, we host a number of seminars, workshops to help in every different aspect that you can. So we're here for people. If you sign up to be a member, we have information that is sent out to everyone. So whether you need financial help, whether you need advice, we are always going to be here for our clients. And that's, like I said, all year round. We're putting on seminars. We're partnering with other people to host different events, and a lot of it we have been doing for free. So I think it's the best time now for people to start a business and to engage BDC, because you're going to get that extra support and that extra help. We also have where you can meet with our officers. We have some officers in BDC that you can meet with that's going to give you advice as well. We have finances that we can help to start your business if you need to purchase. Say someone's starting a business and they need inventory. We have the financial ability to give funding to people. So I would say anybody that's starting a business or along the way they're lost and they don't know where to go, what to do, contact BDC, and we're always here to with the courses, with the webinars, and with the advice.
Well, I want to echo something, because you stated just now, right now is the best time to start a business. And Sherry, if most people remember, you had Craig Simmons, the economist and Bermuda College lecturer, last week, and he said pretty much entrepreneurship is the way out of this crisis. So I think it goes hand in hand to what you're saying. Thank you for what you guys are doing, honestly. And
Yes.
as James Burt said, Colina has been working hard this weekend. A pleasure to work with. Colina gets it done. I can only imagine. Because Sherry had a 5-day weekend, and she was speaking about how she didn't miss anybody, and she went and did her thing. So
Got my nails done.
yeah, Colina, you worked.
I was, and I'll echo what James said because he has been amazing as well. We actually, not last year, but the year before last, 2019, in person, we had our first pre-brunch to our conference. And that was held at Hamilton Princess and Marcus. And it was an amazing time. We really enjoyed it. And so this year, we're like, we usually do our conference every year. What is it going to look like? And then Danielle Painter from Bacardi. And she's like, I want to do a VIP something. What are we going to do? And I'm like, okay, let's bring back this brunch. And so we're like, well, how are we going to do it with everything going on? And so I had engaged Huckleberry. I've eaten there plenty times. I love their food. I love their cronuts. And I was like, a perfect place to do it if the weather's going to be nice. And so we had engaged them. And then between September, October, the numbers spiked, the COVID numbers spiked. And we're like, you know what, just to be safe, we're going to do it virtual. So doing it virtual is like, how can you do it virtually and still have that same participation like you would in person? And so, speaking with Danielle of Bacardi, we did engage Huckleberry to do the brunch. So they did these amazing brunch boxes. And they had, all these different foods, little different meals and sandwiches in there. They had a cronut for everyone. So the cronut of the month.
All right. You said it once. I'm going to say it again. What is a cronut? I don't know. Like, I saw someone mention it last night. What's a cronut?
A cronut.
Cronut donut. Croissant and donut. Cronut.
Is that a Bermudian thing?
We're going to have to send you one. We're going to send you one.
Folks.
Really?
I saw someone mention it on social media last night, and you said it the first time. So I'm like, let me save this question. What's a cronut? And I'm not trying to get away from what you're saying, because we're going to have the Huckleberry folks on the show on Wednesday. And I was like, I'll wait to ask them. But you said it a second time. And I'm like, what is a cronut? I'm sorry.
And yes, so their flavor of the month was apple cinnamon this time. And so we had delicious. I have an extra one, Sherry. If you want to come into the office, I'll give you one. And so
you're going to have to ship it.
And so we had one of the, so you got that. And so that was in your brunch box, as well as they gave out a coupon for a free glass of Prosecco. So anyone that comes back to Huckleberry, they can redeem their coupon and get a free glass of Prosecco. So that is with your brunch box. Bacardi did these amazing mixology kits. And so you had a bottle of rum, you had all the ingredients to make 4 drinks. So your lemons, your limes, your cups to put them in, a masher, sugar, salt, like everything you needed, jam, liqueur to make these drinks. And so for the conference, we had started off with this mixology lesson. And so you're there with him, just like you're making a
this past weekend, right?
This past weekend. So yesterday, we had the virtual conference, the brunch. And so we had Brennan Pemberton of Bacardi, who showed us how to make four drinks, and you got this amazing kit, which is very heavy, and it had all your ingredients in there. And so you got that, you got your brunch box, you got your dessert, and so you're sitting in front of your computer and you're watching this amazing day, as well as 2 speakers. We had Leah Dean, who was a keynote speaker, and we assembled the tribe, and then we also had Brenda Fayala, which works for Bacardi.
Well, it's a good thing that we changed our topic from alcohol abuse in Bermuda this morning. I'll say that much. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I'll say this, Colina, I definitely need to sign up for this Women's Day conference, like entrepreneur conference. It sounds very interesting. And I do hope that people go sign up for it and be a part of it, especially if you're, entering into a business, which I hopefully can do.
Is she invited, Colina?
She's definitely invited. I would say all the ladies are invited, whether you're an entrepreneur or working in the corporate world, working for someone. There is going to be something to take away for everyone. And I love the networking aspect of it. I love women getting together, having accountability partners, and just, knowing who's in the room. It's always an amazing time. And I'm really looking forward to the event.
This is great stuff.
Awesome.
BDC folks working around the clock around there. Folks, get in, get in, get in. Hey, if I was in Bermuda, I'm not saying I'll try to sneak in, but I actually try to find out what this cronut thing is. But we're going to get these Huckleberry folks on Wednesday. We're going to get them. Colina, thank you so much. And just before you go, just share once again where people can go for the information.
So if everyone goes onto www.gew.bm or www.bedc.bm, they can go on there on the page, scroll down to the 19th of November, because we do have some other events. So if they scroll down to the 19th of November, they can see the conference, they can see everything that comes with it, and then they can register. We also, if anybody wants to call, 292-5570, or they can email us at info@bedc.bm to get any information that they need.
All righty, Colina Outerbridge, BDC, thank you so much for stopping by today, and all the best with the event.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I hope everyone comes out, and thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Talk soon.
All right, bye.
All right, folks. Some more comments coming in. I guess I'm the only one don't know about cronuts. Michelle White says, "Oh my God, the front apples inside heated with ice cream was to die for." Like you all, I mean, Sherry, what? You have cronuts in Atlanta?
Yes, you do. I can't remember the store, but yes, you do. And they are delish.
I guess I lost my card this morning.
Yes.
Folks, I appreciated that conversation with Colina. You know what to do. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break. After this, come in. Emily Gale Deal says, persons ordering lunch, please support Sensational Delights, which is owned by a woman and employs perhaps the largest number of employees of a small business. So let's get out there, support these women entrepreneurs. Love Global Entrepreneurship. Love Global Entrepreneurship Week, says Rosalind Famous. We're going to take a quick break. Come back, wrap it up, and have a little daily play. Do not go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I have my three children, a 27-year-old and an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. I have to balance it out. I actually even stopped working Monday to Wednesday just so that I can put in time for the products and I put in time for my family. Because for me, my family comes first over anything. You know, I know I have to run my business so that we can eat and everything, but my children come first. I let them even play a role when I'm making my products. Come on, get up. You can come help me mix it. Come help me put the label on it. So when we talk about inspiring your daughter or your children, I make my children get up there and see what it takes to run a business. Come on, Surrey. This brand, Surrey Shea & Co., is named after you. So you need to help me. You're gonna come, you can do this, put the labels on for me. You can do it. Even my little 4-year-old, I had him do it. Mommy, let me help. So I just let them help, and it teaches them the way.
All right. Thanks again to the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation at Colina Outerbridge. Like I said, if you appreciated this morning's conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these kind of episodes. Thanks again to Linda's One Communications Medical House and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. It's a who said it? Famous quote. And this quote is by someone who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. Quote, never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. End quote.
Is it John Lewis?
This person is still living.
Jesse Jackson?
Woo, woo! It is Jesse Jackson. Look at you. Look at you. Never look down on anybody unless you're helping them up. Jesse Jackson.
I was like, is any need John Lewis, Jesse Jackson? I'm like, I hit for nobody else.
Come on, Atlanta. You got Andrew Young. You got a lot of people down there.
Right. Andrew Young would have been another person. Yeah.
You got,
that's it, baby.
If you would have said Bernie Sanders, I'd have been taken back. All right. In the most concise manner as well of time, thoughts on today's episode?
Thank you for, spreading some light on, what drives tourism. I did not know about groups and all of that and the importance of it. So I appreciate that. And of course, go out and support the Women's Entrepreneur Day Conference. Colina gave you a wealth of information. And so it was great having her on one.
Indeed. To that point, honestly, I don't know what I don't know, right? There have been shows over the last 3 weeks. I'll say, Sherry, like I defer to you because I know my area is not counseling, it's not social work, it's not that. I appreciate Charles, the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, for providing clarification today as far as the event. But I also appreciate that he supported what I was saying with actual factual information. I want Bermudians to understand tourism because the only way we can help and fix it is if we understand it. But if we believe that tourism comes down to taxes and vacations, then it tells me that we have a long way to go. And I think that tourism education needs to happen beyond how we've traditionally thought of tourism. As far as Colina, I thank her. I appreciate the work that she and the BEDC are doing. And as Craig Simmons said, as she said, right now is a great opportunity to figure out a plan. If you love to do something and you think you're really good at it, go for it. Mr. Simmons was very honest. I think he said 90% of businesses will fail, something like that. It was very high, but at the end of the day, take a shot. You never know. You never know. Any daily inspiration before we head out, Sherry?
Yes, the good life is a process, not a state of being. It's a direction, not a destination. And that is by Carl Rogers.
Appreciate that one. We'll be sharing that one, folks. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please make it a great day. Peace.
Bye.